I knew it was a big threat. At the same time, I don't want to panic this country. I don't want to go out and say everybody's going to die.
We make up 4% of the world's population. We have 20% of the world's deaths. We're in a situation where we have 210,000+ people dead. And what's he doing? Nothing.
We had the greatest economy in the history of our country last year, including the state of Florida, where we are now, and Pennsylvania, and North Carolina, and Ohio, every place. We had the greatest economy we ever had. We had to close it down. We saved 2 million lives. We're opening it up. We have a V-shape, and it's coming back. It's coming back very fast.
You have 91 out of every of the Fortune 500 companies not paying a single solitary penny. If you raise the corporate tax just back to 28%, which is a fair tax, you'd raise $1.3 trillion by that one act.
Famed pollster and political strategist Frank Luntz convened one of his real-time focus groups to watch the events last night, and he joins us now to give us what he saw and learned. So, Frank, thank you for being with us. I want to put you on the spot a little bit. Last time you were with us, this was after the first presidential debate. You said, given where the polls are right now, President Trump needs to have 2 debates in order to have a chance of coming back. Did last night count as one of them?
It did not. I mean, the people who like Trump now love him. The people who like Biden now love Joe Biden. But I don't believe that it really changed many hearts, many minds. In our session, I don't know if you got a clip of it, but in our session, I finally figured out what it is that is causing these people to remain undecided. And it's not that they're low information voters. And I'm offended by reporters who are now trying to force them to choose sides when it used to be that if we analyzed the candidates, if we came to an informed decision, that would be something that we would applaud. These people are undecided because they agree with what the administration has done, but they don't like Donald Trump. They don't like the way he communicates, don't like the way that he relates to people. They like Joe Biden very much. They feel that he empathizes and cares about them, but they are scared, still scared, about his economic policy and that he won't be candid about where he stands on the Supreme Court. So it's basically Donald Trump's administration versus Joe Biden's policies, or it's Joe Biden's persona versus Donald Trump's policies. They can't decide which one is more important to them.
Well, let's talk about the persona a little bit, because I, like a lot of Americans, flip back and forth between NBC and ABC to really compare them. And I couldn't see more of a contrast in the presentation. By the way, the moderators as well. Savannah Guthrie was quite assertive, where George Stephanopoulos was much more reflective, talking about policy. But goodness sakes, Joe Biden talked at some length about policy. President Trump was very combative throughout, didn't you think?
He was combative, but that's because he had a combative moderator. And we asked that question because I think it's important. And our group, 16 participants, 14 chose George Stephanopoulos' style, and only 2 chose Savannah Guthrie's. It's a town hall. I'm going to repeat that. It's a town hall. That means bring to it. It's their event. Everything else is about the reporters and the candidates. This is the one time when the voters get a chance to challenge, question the candidates. It took NBC 20 minutes to get to the first voter question. That's not a town hall.
Yeah, I saw exactly the same thing. I was watching my watch and asking myself the same question. Because, of course, this was to replace a presidential debate that was going to be a town hall format. That's the whole theory, is that voters get to ask questions directly of the candidates. We're getting down to brass tacks now. We don't have that much time left, and a lot of people have voted already. Is it possible for President Trump to turn things around? Or, let me ask a flip question, is it possible the polls are just off?
Anything is possible. People keep asking me, well, what about the October surprise? What will it be? Donald Trump got COVID, and he ended up in Walter Reed for 3 days. That's not an October surprise. They canceled the second debate, which we've been having every election cycle for decades. That's not an October surprise. The economy, everything that happens every single day is worth a month in any other election. So anything can happen. That said, I believe that pollsters are better today than they were 4 years ago. I believe that they're watching their sampling much more effectively than 4 years ago. And one more point. Hillary Clinton was projected to win on election night by 2.8%. She won on election night by 2.1%. It just wasn't in the right states. Yes, we're not a popular vote. We're in a republic. And the Electoral College determines who wins. But there's no way that Donald Trump can make up 9.5%. The polls cannot be that wrong. He's going to need an exceptional debate performance. And if he does anything like he did in the first debate, because he lost it, and he lost it significantly, and voters turned against him because of it, if he does the same thing 1 week from today, then he will definitely lose this election.
So, Frank, we have such a short period of time left to go until the election. You're such a good student of these things. What are you going to be looking for? Putting aside the black swan, because even apart from COVID-19 for the president, we also had the death of a Supreme Court justice and a confirmation process. So there have been at least 2 black swans already. Putting that aside, what are you looking for?
And I'm looking at the economic crisis, the COVID crisis, the healthcare crisis, the political crisis. We've never had more crises happening at the same time, and Americans are just exhausted from the whole thing. I'm going to be watching whether Donald Trump has the ability in the last 18, 19 days to show any sense of humility before those final people go to the polls. And for Joe Biden, I'm going to see whether he's ever going to answer that question about the Supreme Court, because in the end, the public has a right to know, and he should be answering it.